Just recently I created this model of a croquet set, and what drove me to do this was a family holiday this year where we were able to set up a game of croquet in a beautiful place, and it reminded me of childhood and the many times we played this game in Ohio on the vast green lawns there. So I wanted to build a set, and I designed this around some of the professional equipment that I see. It's a heavy mallet, and I used local tree resources. This is live oak mallet head, and these dimensions are pretty much what you see, I think, in professional sets, with a 36-inch handle. The handle is ash from local trees here in California, and it's quite a heavy duty mallet, as you can see. Then you need the peg. It's in professional croquet, there's just one center peg, but I need two of these because we'll be playing lawn croquet, and I haven't painted it here in SketchUp, but that's probably what I'll do. And the ball, that's been the hardest thing for me to create on the lathe. I've built the set already, and the balls are a new thing for me on the lathe and challenging. Now, they call these hoops. We used to call them wickets in Ohio, where I grew up. And in professional croquet, that opening is just a 1/16 of an inch over the size of the ball. But I made it 6 inches, which is kind of typical of garden croquet or lawn croquet. Now, the modeling in SketchUp is quite simple, straightforward modeling. Nothing fancy in here, although I did take advantage of some cross sections here, because this handle is not just a single cross section, it's several different cross sections. So I want to show you how I used the cross section tool, and I'm going to go and add a tool set, the section tool set. So I click on that section, and then it brings up this little tool set up here, and that's handy. And I can turn on the section planes by clicking that little icon, and then that shows the multiple section planes that I've installed. There's one down here on the round tenon, and then there's the rectangular section, and then up above is a oval section, and then there's a chamfered section at the top. Now, what I've done here then is to show the actual section cuts so that it's easy to tell what it looks like at each of those points. So there's the rectangular section, it's a short section, and then there's this oblong elliptical section. Notice that that's a 1 3/16, that long length there along the longitude of the mallet, and the strong where it needs to have strength, and then the upper section, which is chamfered. So with the section cut ability, here's just a top parallel view that you can in X-ray so you can see all those different cross sections in the handle. But by combining the cross section with scenes, then you can have that transition. And let me show you how I just set up these different cross sections. And I'll just copy over the handle to an open place in the model over here in the red axis. And I probably, if I'm going to mess with this, I probably need to make that a, well, no, I don't want to explode that. I want to just make it a unique component so it doesn't mess up the other component that I've got in the model. So I can now edit that component and click on that icon, and it shows all the existing section planes that are within the component definition. So I had to open the component for editing, which I'm doing now, to place them, and then I can click on those section planes. I can move them around with a move tool, and I can also right click on that, and I have some options here, like for example erase. I can erase that section plane. To add a section plane, you click on that icon in the tool set, and it tries to number it, and then it wants to know what plane. I'm going to hit the upper arrow key to put it on the blue, and there it is, a new section plane, and it shows the cut. I can turn that active cut off and just show the plane, or I can show the cut itself by right-clicking and clicking on active cut. Now if I want to have a scene that shows that, then I can now make a scene, I'll just make a new scene, and I'll call it test all right, section cut. So now I've got a new scene. I update that scene, and whenever I show that scene, then it will show the active scene. So if I go back to the original mallet picture and then I come back to that new scene, I should see the section cut, and there it is. So that's how you can manage these to show the different areas of a component like I've shown here. And if you put the scenes together like this, you can kind of show how it all goes together. So that's a croquet set, and I've pretty much built it. I'm ready now to test it on a green lawn, which is hard to find in California.